Welcome! In this video we're going to do an unboxing of Zombicide White Death, published by CMON. So down at the table I've gone into yet another Zombicide game. This is just the retail edition. We can see that this is a game for 1 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and lasts about an hour. And then flipping on the back, Zombicide White Death is a cooperative game where 1 to 6 players face hordes of zombies controlled by the game itself. Each player controls 1 to 6 survivors in a fantasy city besieged by zombies. Once a quest has been set, the goal is simply to have fun completing the objectives, surviving and killing as many zombies as possible. Zombies are slow and predictable, but there are a lot of them. Watch out for their abominations and necromancers too. Survivors use whatever they can get their hands on to kill zombies. The better the weapon, the higher the body count, but the more zombies will appear, attracted by the onslaught. Survivors can trade equipment and players can share tactics. Only through cooperation can players achieve victory. Battling zombies is fun and survivors will have a lot to do while exploring the besieged Wintergrad, rescuing fellow survivors, protecting vital areas, neutralizing dire threats, and much, much more. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So we've got a little flyer for some free CMON content. And then our rules and quest book. So on the back, we've got our game round summary and our targeting priority. And this is 55 pages. So we've got our chapters, going over our game components, then our tokens and cards, more free CMON content. And then if you've never played any of these games, setup was pretty easy, just a few steps. Game overview, going over the different phases, which is all right here on the back. And then going over the basics, useful definitions, line of sight, movement, reading your equipment cards, noise, adrenaline, your inventory, then going over the zombies. We've got walkers, brutes, runners, and abominations. And a necromancer over here. Then details of the player phase, the different things you can do. Then the zombie phase, they're pretty much move and bite. And spawning, going over combat, freezing. That's what I did this weekend. Got cold here, special locations, equipment traits, additional game modes, playing with 7 or more survivors. And then moving on to our quests, and I believe we have 10 quests in here. Each, I'm sure, getting a little bit more difficult. Yep, 10. Then their skills index and main game index. So that's a rule book. Then getting into our box. Thank goodness we're going to have our miniatures. And here we have boards and tokens. Let's get these out of the shrink wrap. All right, we just have one punch board and then our locations, I think. So here we've got our spawning zones, our beacons, some cauldrons, some ladders, noise, freeze tokens, and then our objectives. Taking a look on the other side. All right, so we've got map tile 26R. And V, and 27, 28, see we're setting up the wall on the one side, 29, and tile 30, tile 31, 32, 33, and tile 34. And then inside here, we've got our corruption. So we've got 15 of these, all the same artwork. Then our ID cards. All right, we've got Dragomir. He likes his crossbow. Going over his abilities on the back. Then Genia. He's a born leader. Lorna. Super strength. Ogon. Got several abilities there. Sarnai. Some Ice Storm. Spellcaster. And Yasuk. He's got a katana. And a hit and run ability. And our dashboards. So we can put our equipment, backpack, and our character. And our XP tracker. And 6 of those. And a whole bunch of cards. Okay, got all our cards separated out. So you've got our guards reference card. Going over their abilities and actions and stats. Then we have some starter cards, a couple lances, a power blast, Shaska, and a short bow. And then our vault weapons, Baba Yaga's blessings, this blade, got a spell, an ice bow, halberd, crossbow, and the partisan. And some more of our guard cards. Got their skills. So different abilities for the blue in there. Then our necromancer cards. The defiler, regular, the orc. And some abominations. So from the previous sets and this new set. And their spawn cards. Bringing out some walkers. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then brutes 2, 2, 6, and 8. And then runners also 2, 2, 6, and 8. More walkers. So different combinations of how many are coming out. And some abominations. Necromancers. And zombie siege cards. Extra activations for everyone. Then we have our equipment, which is always going to surprise us sometimes when you least want it. So apples, shields, crossbows, daggers, disintegrating, some dragon bile, fire bolts, great axes and swords, halberds, some armor, bows, more spells, and weapons, some salted meat, and on to spears and swords and torches. The triple crossbow. And now on to our miniatures. We go on to our heroes. Here we have Yasuk, ready to double blade some heads off of some zombies. And Genia, also sporting 2 blades. And Dragomir, going for some long range. And Lorna with a spear. And Sarnai. And Ogon. All right, on to our abomination, the big nasty himself. Pretty menacing. And their necromancer. And here looks like we've got some runners. Two different sculpts there. And we have 12 guards in 3 different varieties. So I'm brandishing a shield and sword. And a bow. And just a different sculpt. And moving underneath. 6 D6s. See how they roll. Oh, pretty good. We'll take that. And our bases for different characters. So we keep track of who's who till I get around to painting them. And their trackers. All right. So down here I've got the rest of the runners. And they just have the 2 sculpts. And we have our brutes here in 2 rows, 2 different sculpts. And our regular walkers, we have 7 different sculpts on those. There was 1, here we have 2 more. And another 2 poses. And our last 2. So that is everything in the retail core box for Zombicide White Death. As always, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. If so, please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.